Yeah. Good morning and welcome to our Berroco Spring Summer Yarn Tasting event. It's a lot of fun. Cambria, as many of you know, we're right in the middle of the third largest wine region in the country, right, generally known as the Paso Robles area. And the concept of wine tasting is very common here. So we routinely would go to tasting rooms or wineries and you get to, you get a little sip of wine. Uh, Sometimes we get cheese with it. And it's just a lot of fun. So we're applying the same thing to yarn for this. So we really appreciate those of you that are joining us this morning. And yes, we are going to record this, so it'll be posted on our website as well after the fact. And so you can relive those wonderful moments. So I don't think this is going to take a lot of time this morning, but we welcome questions and all that kind of stuff. And one of the questions that we just got, so we are monitoring chat for you folks that are used to doing Zoom. There's a little chat window that you can open up. And so one thing that's different from a wine tasting is that not all of you have the yarn in front of you. So we're actually not doing any needles here. We're going to talk about the yarns and then how you can apply that, ways to think about these yarns. Some of you got the cool little yarn tasting kit. So you can tell it's not overcast and rainy today. So we have lots of sun streaming in through this window. That has a little overview of all the latest, there we go, all the latest Berroco yarns, as well as some things about how to get patterns. And we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, and then just like at a yarn tasting, there's a little tasting menu. And hang on, we're not only presenting, we're also producing, so we have to let people in. So the folks of you that got the little thing, there's actually a little tasting menu. But we'll show you the yarns online, both on our website and on the Berroco website, because part of what we're going to do today is show you ways you can get information from our website as well as the Berroco website, and how those two can work together to help you find the project of your dreams, along with us to help. So let's start on the tasting menu, and I'll just go down our little tasting menu here. The first yarn that we're going to work with, and this was one when it came out, when they announced it, there was a, if you heard Berroco retailers all across the country go, "That's great." That was because of this yarn called Summer Sesame. Boy, that really is brightness. So Summer Sesame, some of you may be familiar with Berroco's yarn Sesame. Sesame was a huge, huge hit. And I'm going to start off by showing you how you can find things on our website. So I'm going to share the screen and show you the Ball and Skein website. Nope, Chris is moving things around over there. So on our website, you can go, when you go to our main website, you'll notice there's a thing here that says yarn. And yes, oh, great. Thank you, Dallin. If you go to the yarn menu, you'll notice there's a big drop down. You can do yarn by gauge, by brand, by care, as well as by fiber. And we'll explore some of those today. But today, what we want to do is look at yarn by brand. And as you can see, as you scroll down, there's an awful lot of these. The same concept works whether you're on your phone or your tablet as well. All these menu options are available. So if here, for instance, so if we go to Berroco, so what you do is you get dropped into a page that's got all the Berroco yarns that we have on our website. It's not all the Berroco yarns that are available, nor is it all the Berroco yarns we can order for you, because we can indeed order everything that Berroco sells, and we are happy to do that. You can also sort your list. You can sort it by best selling. You can sort it by dollars from least expensive to most expensive. I know most of you are looking for the most expensive things, so you can do it that way. That's how I always search. Okay, that's not really true. You can do it alphabetically if that's your groove. You can also see what's new. You can say, well, what's the newest stuff that got put up there? And you'll notice a bunch of patterns. We uploaded a whole bunch of different patterns. So this is a way you can always see what the newest thing is. If you sort by price from the least expensive to the most expensive, well, that's where all the free stuff shows up. And I know all of us, and I'm the same way. So, so here's some free patterns that you can download from our friends at Berroco. And these are all specifically Berroco. So what we're going to do is actually go over. So you can also say within Berroco, I can choose, is it hand washed or machine washable? What fibers does it have? What stitch gauge am I looking for? And in this case, we're going to look at line. So we talked about sesame. Sesame was just a home run right out of the park. Just a huge, very, very popular yarn. We still have it. It's still great. There's a wonderful book that you can get with all these different colors. It was a very, very popular yarn for the fall. We just couldn't keep it in stock. It just sold like hotcakes. And you'll notice that some of the colors are sold out because that's how well it sold. So for spring, summer of this year, Berroco came out with summer sesame. So the cool thing about summer sesame, as you can see, the colors are very similar to sesame. So you can interchange sesame and summer sesame. The big difference between sesame and summer sesame is that summer sesame has no wool in it. It's a cotton acrylic nylon blend. You get a lot of yardage. You get a 295 yards in a 100-gram ball. I would probably call it a light worsted. Comes in some beautiful colorways, as you can see. And it's great for garments, for wraps. There's a wonderful book that they've come out with it that has all these beautiful patterns in it. So in the book, you can look through, there's 6 designs. 1 of them is crochet, 5 of them are knit. So you can scroll through and look at all the different patterns that are in here. And you can say, wow, that's really cool. I get 6 patterns for $12.95. Well, that's kind of a deal. Yeah, you can see this nice wrap. So there's all these just really beautiful pieces. And you can buy that right here, and we're happy to send it out to you. The other piece is that there's also, if you want to get your feet wet, there's a nice free pattern called Carmel. This is a really, really nice pattern. This is done with Berroco Summer Sesame, as well as their cotton yarn Pima 100. But a really beautiful color work piece. If you want to jump into that, that's really nice. The description down here tells you how many balls of each yarn that you need, what kind of needles you need, that sort of thing. So there's a free pattern that you too could. So when on our website it says digital download, if you click on that, you'll actually get the opportunity. It's a download link that you can just download, and then you'll have the PDF of the pattern. But that's Summer Sesame. Very, very nice yarn. Great for all sorts of things, especially things with drape, because it is a plant-based fiber. Those of you that took our yarn substitution class now know what I'm talking about. In that there's no wool in it. There's no protein-based fiber, so it's very, very drapey. The yarn is machine washable. Yay. So it's easy to care for. You get a lot of yardage on a ball, and it's not a lot of money. It's just $15 for a great multicolored yarn. Now, if you were looking at the patterns and you notice there were all these patterns, but there weren't a lot of descriptions about the patterns. So one of the things you can do, so now I'm going to share the screen and we're going to take a little trip to the Berroco website. So here's the main screen of the Berroco website. And under there, you can look under patterns. And on their front page, they even have a big button for all the free patterns. They have lots and lots of free patterns. But let's look at the yarn. So if you click on yarn, you'll see over on the left a whole, these are all the yarns Berroco offers. These are all the current yarns. So no, we don't stock every yarn Berroco makes. We would love to, but we just don't have that amount of real estate. To give you an idea, Berroco's warehouse is, I think, 30,000 square feet. And we don't have 30,000 square feet to put yarn in. So we can't manage that. The most, you can, just like on our website, you can slice and dice the yarns by stitch gauge, by fiber, as well as, is it machine washable or not? So you can also search some of their old yarn, their old discontinued yarns. So if you go onto their website and you click on Summer Sesame, they have all the new websites there. That gives you a picture of how the yarn is packaged. It just comes in this great little 100-gram cake. Put it on the grill, a little butter. It's really wonderful. There's all the colors. All these colors, they're all new because it's all new. The one button on the website when you're looking at yarns, here where it says find this yarn, well, you don't need to click that. You know where to find it. Here at the Ball and Skein, we have lots of it. So this gives you all the details. What you can do, though, is look over where it says featured yarn. Oh, Jane, so there was a question of what color of summer sesame did I receive in the tasting? And the question, and the answer is, we have no idea.
So yes.
I can't guarantee that everybody has the same
should be all be the same
color.
kits.
Okay, so Chris is insisting that these are all the same color, and maybe they are. I would say this is probably ocean, because it's not labeled in ours either. But my guess is that's ocean, which is color, yeah, 5242. I would say that's ocean. If yours is the same as ours. So when you're looking at here, so here you can see whatever their featured pattern is. And as you can see, they're featuring that free pattern, Carmel. So you can click on that. You can even download their free patterns right from their website. And then here's the yarns that you do. Here's all the description of all the different stuff about the pattern. Here's all the sizes that you need. So this could be handy. So here where it says more patterns using this yarn. Okay, someone else just typed in and said their color is different than that. So indeed, yes, they can be different colors. So I don't know what color it is. Sorry. You could look on our website and it'll tell you. So here I clicked on find all patterns associated with this yarn. All these other patterns are the patterns that are in that booklet. So for instance, so if we happen to like this piece, which is a very lovely piece, and this is this is knit, designed by one of their wonderful designers who's in-house, Margot Hufnagel. She's done this little piece. So this has all the sizes, all the dimensions. So here's the thing about the patterns and the yarn. So we have the yarn. You could look here and find out, oh, I'm going to do size, the 44 to 80. So I'm going to do 48 is the size that I want. So I look down here, well, I need 5 balls of summer sesame to do that. You could do a couple of things. If you wanted to just buy that one individual pattern, right now, it's not offered on our website. It will be in the future, but right now it's not. You could certainly just buy that pattern from Berroco, and that's fine. That doesn't bother us. If you want to buy your pattern directly from Berroco, they're happy to send it to you as a PDF. It doesn't, we don't mind. We would like you to buy the yarn from us. You can't buy it from Berroco. All they do, they can't possibly handle all the individual orders that we retailers can do. Berroco is a great company for supporting local yarn stores. We just love these folks. So you could buy the yarn if you wanted to just buy that one pattern. But as you can see, that one pattern is $8. The whole collection was $12.95. So if you're going to buy 2 patterns for Summer Sesame, you might as well buy the book. Or if there were 2 that were at all interesting. Basically, through Berroco, most of the sweaters are $8. Individual pattern or accessories tend to be $6. In either case, if you were interested in 2 of the patterns, it's cheaper to buy the book. But whichever way works for you works perfectly for us. So that gives you an idea of how to go through their website. And I'm going to show you another fun thing that they do. Nope, not on this one. This will come up in other yarns because we'll show you other yarns as well. So that's Summer Sesame. Yep, different people are getting different colors of their kits. Yeah, this whole yarn tasting kit, by the way, is a huge, huge thank you to our friends at Berroco. They're not geared up for this. They get their yarns in just huge, huge, huge batches. It takes, when they get a shipment in of their yarns, it takes them days to unpack and sort and get everything into their system. So they actually went through and re-skeined all these little mini skeins for all of us so that everybody could get their hands on the yarn, because they know people are having a hard time getting into their yarn stores. That's just one of the many, many ways Berroco is there to help us so that we can help you. Their patterns are all tech edited and test knitted. It's a rare moment when there's an error in them, but you know, we are human beings, mistakes are made. They will post errata on their website. Our recommendation is before you start a project using a Berroco pattern, go to their website just to make sure there's not an errata that's been published from the pattern that you've already gotten. If you're getting the PDF, odds are you're getting the most recent one, but you know, it never hurts to look. Yes, Berroco went and redid all of these little kits and put these kits together to send out to you and to us as local yarn stores. And we're just so grateful for these folks. And that's the other piece to know, is that whatever yarn you find on the Berroco website, if it's not on our website, don't hesitate to send us an email, give us a call. We will order that yarn for you and get it out to you, because Berroco has our back, just like they have yours. Anyone else looking at any other questions about Summer Sesame and stuff? In the chat, there's a couple of folks talking about, oh, I think this is my color. This is the one I might have. That's really great. So that's, yes.
What's the difference between Berroco's Sesame and their Medina?
So Medina,
because that's a great yarn.
It's a really nice yarn. You know, it's a yarn we didn't bring in. It's a slight, and one of the reasons, Medina is also, it's a DK weight versus a worsted weight.
Okay.
So that's a big difference. Medina is a nice yarn. It's not one we brought in. We're happy to order it for you. Because in that DK, actually in your kits, there's a lovely yarn called Remix Light. We just really like Remix Light.
So the weight is probably the biggest difference.
Yeah. So the weight is the biggest difference between Summer Sesame and Medina. Medina does have long color repeats. In that DK space, for that sort of thing, if what you want is long color repeats, we would tend to maybe steer you towards Lang Linello. Lang is actually a sister company, as it were, of Berroco. Like Berroco, as many of you know, Berroco, Warren, the Wheelock family, Warren Wheelock is the head of Berroco. The Wheelock family has been in the yarn business here in the United States since they came over from England. They originally had yarn mills in a yarn mill in Massachusetts, which Chris has actually been to, the Stanley Woolens. And it was his father and grandfather that actually closed down the old woolen mills because there was just no money in it anymore. But out of that came Berroco, and that's Warren Wheelock runs Berroco. He actually bought that name from the old Stanley Woolen shutdown and started this yarn company. He doesn't spin yarns anymore. He has people around the world spin yarns for him. There was a question about how much yardage there is on the skeins. There is no information on the yardage on the skeins. You can weigh them and then apply that weight towards the weight of a full ball of yarn to give you a rough estimate of how much yardage there is. The goal of the little mini skeins is just to give you an idea so you can knit swatches, see what it feels like, what needle size is great for you. That's really what the little mini skeins are about. It's a way for you to play with them. You know, since we've mentioned Remix Light, let's look at that. For those of you that aren't familiar with Remix Light, and Remix Light comes in, there's the light version as well as Remix. So there's our mini ball version. It says color 6918. And by the way, most people, sorry, I got a message I have to reply to. Sorry about that. We had someone pop into what I think is the wrong meeting, but we'll get that taken care of. So what was I going to say? So Remix Light. So Remix Light and Remix, these are really interesting yarns. And by the way, what I mentioned, it's color 6918. Most people don't know, so there's no name of the color anywhere on the ball. So that you know, most yarn within the industry, to us, it's all colors. I mean, it's all numbers. Like when we refer to a monos yarn, for instance, it's, oh, that's Silk Blend 3113. Okay, I'll go grab a bag of 3113. I have no idea what the name of the color is. It's just 3113. So anyway, this color, 6918. So Remix Light is a fascinating yarn. It's one of the most environmentally friendly yarns that we have, and it's certainly one of the most environmentally friendly ones on the market. It's made from reclaimed, recycled fibers from the fashion industry in France. The yarn is indeed spun in France. The mill goes to the fashion houses and gets mill ends and all that sort of thing, all kind of the waste from creating the fashions. This mill shreds it and creates yarns out of it. These aren't even dyed. This is the color that comes out when they process all that. So that's why Remix, which is the worsted weight version, and Remix Light, which is the DK weight version, they have the color palettes they have are the palettes that they have, and it's all based on recycled fibers. It's one of the most fascinating, when we learned that, it was just, my head exploded. It was just one of the most interesting things. So Remix Light is a really, really great, very versatile yarn. It's again a plant-based yarn. So lots and lots of drapes. It's a DK weight yarn with a lot of yardage. I'm going to share the screen and show you Remix Light. So here I'm back on my Berroco. I'm going to uncheck where it says Summer Sesame. And then I'm going to go down and find, underline, I'm going to go find Remix Light. So here's Remix Light. There is a booklet, again, just for $10. You get 6 different projects. These are all knit for your crocheters. I'm really sorry. They are all knit.
Stop. All we see is a Summer Sesame.
Oh, Okay, let me do that again. I must have hit the wrong thing. Let's do that. Okay, how about now? Do we see Remix Light?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So for, for those, so what I did is this was clicked as Summer Sesame. And then I went down and found Remix Light. So it should be all Remix Light. So there's a booklet. This gives you 6 knit patterns out of Remix Light. They also recently came out with a Remix family book. This comes with a whole bunch. It's 8 different designs. 6 of them are knit, 2 of them are crochet, that uses both Remix and Remix Light. So you can go through and see all these great pieces, for grown-ups, for kids. This big, beautiful blanket. So all this beautiful stuff. So so this is available. And again, you can go to the Berroco website if you want to go look at the details about each of those patterns. If you want to see that again, I'm going to stop that. There we go. And now I'm going to share back to the Berroco. So here again, if we go to yarn, and now I'm going to go look for Remix Light. So if I click into Remix Light, so here I can look at more patterns. So here's a whole bunch of patterns using Remix Light. So this is where you could find, all these neat patterns. So like here's the shawl that's on the cover of that booklet. So there's where you can find all the different patterns. Again, you're welcome to buy the pattern from them if you want, or you can buy the book from us. Whichever works for you works perfectly for us. So that's Remix Light. It's a wonderful yarn. It's a very, very environmentally friendly yarn. We've got a question on what's the rose color. Oh yeah, what number was that? Oh, I think
When we're looking at.
yeah.
6918.
69.
Lighter one.
6918 is called Rose. And let's see, someone is posting that the colors on the Berroco website don't seem to match the Ravelry colorway images, at least for Remix Light.
So I would go with the.
I would always go to the Berroco website because that's going to be the most current color image. We love Ravelry. We're big Ravelry supporters. And as we always like to say, there's an awful lot of information up there and some of it is accurate. Let's see. And are we back to looking at Chris and I? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So let's look at a yarn that, let's look at Zinnia. So we're going to look at a yarn that we didn't bring in just for grins, called Zinnia. Zinnia is it's a cotton nylon blend. It's a DK weight yarn. It's very nice. It's got a nice little texture, and I can share the screen. And I'll go to the Berroco website to show you the yarn. So Zinnia, we really like it. It's kind of a DK to light worsted.
These have that lookbook video.
Not yet.
Okay.
So again, there's all the different things that you can do. Many of these patterns are on our website if you want them, because you can substitute a lot of yarns for it. Why didn't we bring this in? Well, we can't stock everything. And we have other yarns that meet this same thing. If you're looking for a cotton, we're going to point you towards the Pima 100 for a worsted weight cotton. we'll point you towards, there's a yarn called GGH. I know it's not a Berroco, but it's a GGH cotton yarn called Cotina that's really nice. We would point you towards Remix Light for DK or Remix, as well as, you know, other cotton yarns that we have, or cotton base yarns. Same thing with self-striping yarns. You know, we've got the Noro, we've got the Lang Lanello. So there's a lot of other kind of yarns. So we don't stock everything. However, don't forget, if you fall in love with this yarn, you say, I just really want this piece. I'm going to make this piece. I want to make it out of zinnia in this color. Let us know. We will order it and get it sent to you. We would love to do that for you. It's just, you know, we don't have the 30,000 square foot warehouse, so it didn't come in. So let's look at a yarn that we did bring in, which is not only a nice tee. It's a nice yarn, and it's actually the scarf that Chris is wearing back there is from this yarn. And this is, the yarn is called Chai. And here I'm going to share the screen.
No, I don't like the feel of that.
So this is one of those that
And
softens
hang
up.
on, don't take this wrong. I'm gonna mute you, Pat. Here we go. All right. So now I'm gonna go back. Here we go. So so again, I'm back at Berroco. So I'm seeing all the Berroco yarns. I go down to line and I can select Chai. We keep having to resist saying Chia because it's not the Chia Pets. So we did bring this one in. This is it's a linen cotton blend. Or I'm sorry, it's a linen silk blend. We like linen. Linen is a very stiff fiber. So we overheard the comment from, and I know who it was because it was the only person that was unmuted at the time, that they didn't like the feel of it. Linen is very stiff when you start. There's no question about it. But as you work with it, it gets softer and softer. Chai is a little softer to start with because of the silk in it, but it's still got a very linen thing to it. Like the other ones, there is a book with a whole bunch of designs, and there is a 6, and they're all knit. You can see pictures of all the designs. Yeah, look at that. Look at the work on that. The thing about linen is that linen is very drapey. It's incredibly durable, and it softens up over time. So as you work with it, it just gets softer and lighter. We've felt pieces that are 10 and 12 years old that are made out of linen that felt like cashmere. They just got so soft. Chai, they recommend hand washing it. You know, we would say it's linen and silk, so do what you want, and this is the way it comes in the ball. But the label does say hand wash it. But if you've always wanted to try linen is great for things with drape. It has no structure whatsoever. But it's a great one for drape, for shawls, for tees, that sort of thing. It's just a great piece for that. Great for the summer, because one of these days, many of us will be able to go back out into restaurants and movie theaters and theaters again, and we'll need something to wrap around our shoulders even in August because they've got the air conditioner set to nuclear. So things made out of a yarn like that, like a linen, is classic for that. So that's Chai. So here's another thing that I want to share. So now I'm going to go and share our screen again. So here's another thing about our website. One of the things, if you go up under where it says extras, so here's kind of all the stuff. Here's where our videos are. Here's our gift cards, bags. And this is where all the patterns are. So here's an interesting thing, as long as we've done them correctly. So you can click on patterns and books. So now again, you can see sorted by best selling. Yes, the Outlander knitting book has been a very big seller, but you can do the same thing. So here's where you can find, where's all the free patterns? Well, if you go to price by lowest to highest, all the free patterns are now on the top. So the people that have discovered this, we can always tell because the web orders come through and there'll be 10 or 15 free patterns in there. But it's great. That's why they're there. They're there for you to enjoy. You know, again, come buy yarn from us. You can sort, just like in yarn, you can do it by brand. You can do it by fiber. You can do it by stitch gauge. This we don't keep as, this is not as reliable, I'm sorry to say. But one of the things you can do is you can say, oh, I've got a skein of, I'm going to pull up a, let's say cocoa from Berroco. And I want to see patterns that are written with cocoa. So if you click cocoa, it's going to pull up all the things that are written specifically for that yarn. So there's the cocoa book. And that's what we have that's written specifically for cocoa that's in our shop. And you can do that with any of the yarns that are in here. So if you've got, what was I going to go to? I was going to go to, so Remix, for instance. And here's the things that's available for Remix that we have as particular yarns. So that's a thing. So in here, so we can go, that's what I was going to look up was chai. So I can look in here and say, well, what do you have for chai? And what we have is the book. Now, if I know that it's a worsted weight, I mean a DK weight, I could go in and do this. Just understand this is not, we haven't been diligent about keeping the stitch gauge of the patterns up. So forgive us for that. Daily improvements. That's our, there's only a couple of us that work here. So that's the little tour through our website for patterns. So we talked about Remix, Light. We talked a little bit about Medina. Medina is a very nice yarn. Again, it's not on our website. For those of you that have the tasting kit. So Medina, it's a DK weight yarn with some really beautiful colors. Our decision was, and I can show you a couple of yarns that, again, happy to get it for you. There's nothing wrong with the yarn. We would go with a couple of them. So one of them, and for those of you that were on our Stitching with Your Slippers on Thursday, you'll get a kick out of this. Within an hour, there's a new yarn from our friends at Lang that just came out called Linello. Linello is another linen blend yarn. It's a linen cotton. This one is machine washable, and it gives you these long color stripings. Very, very nice yarn. Comes in these beautiful colors. There is a book for Linello that you could buy. It's a very nice yarn. So frankly, we chose Linello instead of Medina just because we liked it. The colors were more interesting. I would also look at the Noros or the Zauberball for more self-striping yarns. So there's a lot of options. It's not that Medina is a bad yarn. We just can't carry everything, much as we'd like to. But this Lang Linello, Jacob Lang is the 6th generation in the yarn business. So he and Warren are great friends. They've known each other their entire lives because they both grew up in the same business. And for a very long time, Berroco has been the US distributor for Lang yarns. So the same deal, any Lang yarns, we're happy to order for you. We can get anything. So Medina is a nice yarn. It's just not one that we chose to stock. Happy to get it for you. So now we're going to show you the one that we all when this came out of the box, we were all very, very happy. Many of you are familiar with Ultra Wool, the great workhorse yarn. If you're not, let me share the screen here. So Ultra Wool from Berroco, it's a great workhorse yarn. It comes in a worsted, chunky, DK, and fine. This is the Ultra Wool. This is the worsted. As you can see, it comes in lots and lots and lots of fabulous colors. It's a worsted weight, super wash yarn. It's great for everything. It's great for kids' clothes. It's great for adults. It's great for accessories. It's the yarn we tend to use when we're teaching people to knit or crochet. We hand them a ball of Ultra Wool just because it's a wonderful yarn. Highly, highly recommended, just great. And for $12 a ball for 219 yards of machine washable and soft, not merino soft, I'll be honest, but very, a very, very high quality yarn. Spun in Peru. Warren, one of the things about anything with the Berroco name on it, any yarn with his name on it, he's actually gone to the mill, visited the mill, seen the working conditions, see the quality of work that they do. So you know that the quality is good. This is actually spun by a mill in Peru. Wonderful stuff. So for this year, they came out with Ultra Wool hand paint. To say that we're excited about it is an understatement. Okay, that's weird. We'll do it this way then. Okay, that's very odd. Boy, let me reset that one because something went screwy. It must be a computer. Let's go back to Ultra Wool hand paint. There we go. So first, there's all these great, so you can see how it knits up. There's all these great, there's some, free Ultra Wool hand paint color patterns. Here's some great, color work, all these different patterns. These are the different colorways, and these are indeed all hand painted yarns. So you get to have a machine washable, rugged, hand painted yarn for only $20. That's what's amazing about Ultra Wool hand paint. We have lots of it in stock. Yes, we stocked up because we think it's going to be incredibly popular. Just a wonderful yarn. These are currently all the patterns that are designed specifically for Ultra Wool hand paint. It's not a booklet. These are all individual digital downloads. And then again, there's a couple of the free ones as well. It's a great yarn. You can apply any of your worsted weight yarn patterns to this yarn. So anything that you have that you might want to, that you were maybe gonna knit up in a different yarn, but you want to give it a little pizzazz, you can use Ultra Wool hand paint. Yeah, to come out with a yarn at that quality that's for $20 is pretty impressive. That's the other fun new yarn that's out there. So someone posted in there, Ultra Wool hand paint would be great to use for color work to pair with Ultra Wool. You're absolutely right. That would be you can interchange Ultra Wool and Ultra Wool hand paint.
Pepper one is, I think, that the pepper second row in the center. I think
This
that is-
and indeed, Chris pointed that out. That's exactly what this is. This is a mix of Ultra Wool hand paint and Ultra Wool. So you're right. And Medina, is Medina machine washable, hand washable?
Let's see, I can tell you in a moment.
They don't. Chris is looking it up on our little cheat sheet here.
I don't have it, but I would suspect it is hand wash.
Oh, I have a way I can look. Okay.
Let's look it up.
Here, I'm going to go back to here. You can watch me look this up. Yarn. Oh, there we go. Medina is machine wash, cold, lay flat to dry. And they say, due to the print effect, some dye may release during washing and drying. So be careful. So yes, so Ultra Wool hand paint, we are just very, very excited about Ultra Wool hand paint. We think it's just a really interesting thing. It's a really interesting product you can get. So it's an affordable way to get a durable hand painted yarn. So it's a time we could actually do hand painted yarns for baby clothes and not worry about it getting trashed. Yardage, I'm assuming you mean for Ultra Wool hand paint, about 219 yards on a ball, the same as regular Ultra Wool.
This is 20 a skein versus 12, which is
Right. Ultra Wool hand paint is 20 a skein. Ultra Wool is $12 a skein. So yes, they pay somebody to paint the yarn. Any other questions? And by the way, for folks that the tasting kits are still available. If you want to order one, you're more than welcome to. And it'll actually be drop shipped from Berroco. They're shipping them out directly. We went through our inventory of them right away. But people are still able to do those out.
Are you able to show one of the lookbooks, the video
You know, none of them,
on the Berroco website?
yeah, none of them were there. And a question about zinnia, machine wash on cold, lay flat to dry. Let me see if there's a, yeah, no, they don't have any.
I think they're in a different section.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So that's kind of our yarn tasting for the morning. Any other people have been asking questions, and that's great. You know, the key things to take away is get your yarn from us. There's a lot of fun ways to use our website as well as the Berroco website when you're looking for patterns. One of the things that we do a lot of times in the shop is when we're looking for patterns, we get a new Berroco yarn and we've heard about one. We go on their website. First, we look at the patterns that are designed for that yarn, and then we start looking at what we can substitute. So if the DK weight yarn, now we look at their patterns by DK, and then we start looking at that. It gets more complex, obviously, but happy to do that.